Hi, I'm Michael Rutherford, and I'm an exercise physiologist and have over 20 years of experience training multiple athletes in various sports. I've worked with youth athletes, high school, collegiate, Olympic, and international competitors. I've coached 8 individuals through the Hawaiian Ironman Triathlon and have used these tools that we're going to talk about today to develop explosive power. Now, the medicine ball has a history that begins back 3,000 years ago. It's one of the oldest forms of strength and conditioning, and its first reference was to those wrestlers training with sand-filled bladders in Persia. In ancient Greece, the physician Hippocrates had them sewn out of animal skins and stuffed with sand. His patients threw them back and forth for injury prevention and rehabilitation. Their association with physical therapy gave them their name, the medicine ball. President Hoover in 1933 popularized medicine ball exercise programs. His private physician, Dr. Boone, referred to the game as Hoover ball. They used a 6-pound medicine ball and used a simple volleyball setup to play every morning in the White House lawn. Now, don't be mistaken. Medicine ball work is tough. It's very productive work, but it's not Pink's tea stuff. All right, let's talk about the gear. Medicine ball, it's a generic term that's used to describe a heavily weighted ball. Now, I think the medicine ball needs to meet some of the following criteria. First of all, it needs to be pliable. You're going to throw it with your entire body, and when the ball is caught, you must absorb some of that energy that's being thrown at you upon impact, and that pliability is important. There needs to be an element of softness, and it needs to be able to rotate smoothly. The exterior in this day and age is made from multiple materials, man-made plastics and rubber with varying surfaces, and leather. Leather is my personal favorite. This leather gives a specific feel. Most sports implements are made out of natural materials, and this mimics that. It gives you a chance to develop that kinesthetic awareness. We want to use a ball for most people between 4 and 12 pounds. Larger balls are more for strength-oriented athletes, and if there's one mistake that is made by most individuals, it's purchasing a ball that's too large. You want to still be able to duplicate some sport-specific movements, and if you use a ball that's too heavy, it's going to slow down your movement and defeat the purpose of using a medicine ball. When you throw the ball, you want to use your total body. That's one of the beauties of using medicine balls. And be aware of proper mechanics. You don't want to alter any of your sport-specific mechanics as you throw the ball. You want to start with a warm-up, and we want to start by warming up with progressively easier throws and move to higher velocity throws. And I have Lee Wilkins, who's going to be assisting me today in the warm-up. This is the general warm-up that everybody should start with. And the first thing you understand is, just like a basketball chest pass, you want to use a blocking and tuck technique as you receive the ball. Now I'm going to gently pass this to Lee, and he is going to catch the ball and block it with the receiving hand as he brings it into his body. So first thing is to block and tuck. You want to start out doing that and overemphasize the technique, looking the ball into your hands. You can change sides as you block and tuck to warm up both sides. Now we're using a 10-pound ball this morning because you can tell by looking at Lee that he needs something heavy. When warming up, you can use general guidelines of time or sets and repetitions, anywhere from 3 to 5 sets, 3 to 5 reps. Go with what feels right. Don't be in a big hurry during your warm-up. Okay, that's the blocking and tucking. Next, we'll move to some rotational throws. One of the things that you enjoy about using a medicine ball is that it's biplanar, that we're using several planes of motion as we use the ball. So when we use a rotational toss from side to side here, we're drawing in the core musculature. Get used to taking steps with the ball. You can do some throws without taking steps, anchoring the feet. It all counts. Okay. Nice, easy rotational tosses. Okay, that's a good one. Some high knee marches with the ball are a good practice as well. So I'm gonna pass this ball to Lee, and he's gonna march. As he marches along with the ball, he's gonna be bouncing it off each knee while he holds on to the ball. So he's just gonna bounce his knee into the ball as he marches along. He can warm the hip flexors up, work on his balance. He's also working on his coordination and timing. Young athletes really enjoy that part of the warm-up. We'll move now to this mat. So Lee's going to move the mat into position for us. We're still warming up here with a gentle sit-up and a toss. Okay, I'm going to hand him the ball. And when you're first beginning to work with the medicine ball in a sit-up and a toss format, you need to understand some laws about lever. If he moves this ball farther up and over his head, this sit-up becomes more and more difficult. So to start up in the warm-up series, we want to keep the ball in the chest position where he can just sit up and toss it to me. And he's going to sit there until I come up and hand him the ball back. Just some gentle tosses. Again, we're still warming up. There's more advanced exercises that you can do with this sit-up variation. Okay, that's good. All right, we would go through that series. I'd recommend that you do that 3 to 5 times, going through that series of gentle tossing, rotational throws, blocking and tucking, and sit-up toss. All right. We're going to move now to some torso exercises. And the first thing that we'll work on are torso chest passes, which are very similar to the blocking and tucking that we just worked on. And a chest pass, in basketball, we take a step to our target and push equally with both hands as we extend towards our target. So Lee's going to step towards me. I'm going to block and tuck on the ball. And as I step back and forth here, a very basic exercise as you warm up. To increase the difficulty and to increase the training intensity, you can move farther away from your partner, you can use a heavier ball, or you can push with more force and more velocity. In the early stages of using the ball in a chest pass fashion, go easy until your partner is comfortable blocking and tucking each throw. Alternate feet. Don't just step with your right foot each time. Alternate right foot and left foot. Push equally with both hands. This is an excellent offensive lineman drill as they step to their target, the man they're going to block on the other side of the line. Any type of combat athlete who needs to deliver a blow can benefit from chest passes with a medicine ball. Okay. That's enough work on the chest passes. We'll move now to one-arm overhead throws. But first, we want to develop the two hands as a soccer throw-in. So I'm going to start with both feet together, and the ball will be overhead. Now, in a soccer throw-in, you cannot move your feet as you throw it inbounds. So I'm going to keep my feet anchored. I'm going to load the spring by reaching back slightly and finish the throw forward. Now, if I do that correctly, my momentum from throwing that ball and extending into the throw is going to carry me forward slightly. Whoops. Again, you want to load the spring by reaching back slightly with the ball, keeping the feet anchored as you throw forward. Okay, that's good. A one-arm thrust now is a variation on the chest pass. We'll be right here with the ball loaded on our right pec or our right pectoral muscle. And I talked about combat athletes using a two-handed chest pass. This one-handed thrust is very important, very powerful. You want to take a step with the opposing foot if we're going to work the right side, so we're going to step with our left as we thrust with the ball. Again, it's important for that bilateral development to use both sides of the body. Stepping with the right as we throw and thrust with the left. Now, you can really work on the rotational component of throwing and punching by loading more as you turn slightly back before you step. So instead of throwing straight from the loaded position here, turn slightly as you step and extend to the target. Again, working that rotational component, the core musculature. This one will really put something in your punch. This is one of my favorites. Okay. Moving back to the overhead throw, we can move and step with the feet now as we do a one-armed overhand throw, stepping, if we're using the right hand, stepping with the left as we throw. Make sure that you stabilize the ball with the opposing hand as you step to the target. That leaves a quick study. Be sure to guard against taking the ball too far back before you throw, not to stress the rotator cuff muscle. Hold it straight up above the shoulder, using the guide hand to assist you before you release. Again, both sides of the body, bilateral development. Now we're in a studio in a controlled environment here. I would suggest that you find an open space free of any valuables, antiques, small animals, small children. These balls can pack a punch. All right. We already did the two-hand soccer throwing, so now we want to move to the legs, working on some leg work. I'm going to move to this mat once again while I have Lee lay down on his stomach, face down. This works really well as a portable exercise tool. I'm going to ask Lee to work his hamstrings right now, and he's going to squeeze this ball between his ankles and curl up. So we're going to work on the hamstring muscle group, and we're going to add some extra challenge to his adductor muscles as he has to curl that ball up. Okay, we're going to move now to another leg exercise. Now this is a rehabilitative exercise in a lot of circles, but I like to use it with a medicine ball because, again, the ball's portable. It doesn't take a lot of equipment, and we're going to just use a simple table here to work some leg extensions, which is basically the straightening of the leg. Putting this together in a circuit fashion, you've got a dynamic leg exercise routine. So Lee's just got that ball balanced right there, and he's extending and straightening. You can see by that guy's legs that he's been working these leg extensions. So when he's good and tired here now, another option off of this is a leg extension that's more explosive, where I'm going to actually have him toss the ball to me. Okay? Okay, as a good spotter here, I'm ready to receive it. Give it right back to him. There we go. Good. Again, building a little bit of power here in that extension. Good. That's good enough right there. All right, mule kicks. I really like this exercise. It's a lower body explosive movement. It works your timing and coordination at the same time. It's good for the thrower, and it's good for the participant executing the mule kick. So we're going to toss the ball here at Lee's feet, and he's going to time it up so that he catches the ball, extends his legs, and kicks the ball like a mule back to the thrower. This one takes us about an 8-pound ball that we're using right here. That was the best one all day. One more of these. Great job. Okay, we're going to work a little bit more towards the core here as we keep him on this mat, and we're going to go with a figure 8 movement with a ball. Now, we're going to have to take this smaller ball for this activity. Lee's going to give me some feedback on it. He's going to first support his pelvis by rolling his hips up. We're going to roll his hips up. Make 2 fists. Put them underneath your hips. Roll back now. There you go. And you're going to have your head and your shoulder blades up. What we're doing by supporting the pelvis here is we want to push the small of his back into the mat or the floor. We're going to anteriorly rotate his pelvic girdle. So we're going to support the lower back. This is very critical, that the pelvis is supported, the small back is into the mat, and his head and shoulder blades are up now. So we have cupped or engaged the rectus abdominis, the abdominal muscles, before we start this activity. Now we're first going to start without the ball to show you, and we're going to have Lee pick his feet up off the ground 8 to 12 inches, and he's going to move in a figure 8. Okay? Keeping his feet together, he's going to rotate them in a figure 8 around in a figure 8 pattern. Now, you don't need a very heavy ball at all for this exercise. In fact, this guy's really fit, so we're going to challenge him right now by giving him this 10-pound ball. Okay? Try this, Lee. Open your ankles, squeeze your feet together as you rotate the ball. And you can see the difficulty and the challenge here is that your spotter has to be right on it, is holding that ball stable. It doesn't take a lot of these, kids. Okay, time. Good job, Lee. Relax. We'll give him a little break here. A very advanced exercise for the core, but one that's very effective to give you that six-pack that you're looking for. Okay, we'll again assume that position where we support the pelvis, pick up the head and the shoulder blades, feet out in front, and a variation on this. And we're not going to use the ball. We're going to go ahead straight to it just to demonstrate it without the ball, is to draw circles with your toes now. Just a big circle. He's got a little circle going there, and I want to try to challenge him to move those feet in a big circle. Reverse field now. And you can see he's doing a really nice job of supporting his pelvis. His head and his shoulder blades are up, so that his abdominal muscles are engaged the entire time. He's doing a great job. We would really challenge him right now, but for time's sake, we're going to not give him the ball to hold on to, but you can see some of the options that you have by putting a ball between the ankles. All right, you can also start by putting the ball between the knees and then moving it further away from the center of gravity and putting it between the ankles to increase the degree of difficulty. One of my favorite medleys to do is my boot camp fitness medley with my boot camp fitness program that I've developed, where we use a series of exercises to bring about a specific metabolic effect. And the first one we'll go back to some of the ones that you've seen before today, and the first one is to go with a soccer throw-in, okay? Now, when we do a boot camp medley, and we can't do it in here right now, is we'll use an outdoor arena or training environment. We'll use an area where we can chase this ball. We can't chase the ball in the studio right now, so we're just going to show you the exercise again. So that's the soccer throw-in makeup that we use. The next one is a catapult. And when we catapult, we stand backwards. So if we were in an outdoor environment, we'd do the soccer throw-in, we'd run to the ball, and then we're going to move to the catapult. So we'd come to the ball, we'd pick it up, and now we're going to throw the ball over our head. We're going to extend over our head and try not to take out a light in the studio. So when we're outdoors, we're really extending and throwing with our hips to catapult the ball. Okay, so we've had the soccer throw in, we've run to the ball, we've picked it up, we turned around, and we're going to catapult it. The next thing we're going to do is a stone's throw. If you've watched the movie Braveheart, you've seen him throw the stones. This is a stone's throw where we squat down, let the momentum of the ball bring us back between our legs, and extend forward as we thrust with our hips in a forward thrust to toss the ball. Another one of my favorite drills for offensive linemen, or tackling for linebackers, defensive players, is this stone's throw, shooting the hips forward. All right, and we'll finish with side tosses. So we'll side toss right, and then we're going to side toss left. And now we're back to the beginning. So again, the medley can go on for a prescribed amount of time, for a number of repetitions, however you want to mix it up to finish out your strength training workout, whatever it might be. So again, the soccer throw in, then we run and get the ball to catapult it. Then we're going to finish and stone throw it. Then a right rotational toss and a left rotational toss. Again, for a prescribed amount of time, you pick the time, you pick the challenge. You can go up to 10 minutes with this boot camp medley. Okay, some other exercises to do with the medicine ball, and some of my favorites. The first, I'll have Lee step up here, put his right foot up on the ball. Gonna move some of my props here. And his left foot is over here. He's going to do some squats. And these are squats on an uneven surface. Okay, so we've created a new challenge, a new training environment for the traditional squat exercise by elevating 1 foot on a medicine ball. That medicine ball is not perfectly fit to the ground. It wants to squirt, it wants to move. So that creates a new challenge for Lee as he does squats. He does about 5 on one side, and he wants to make sure he does the other side, so he's going to switch it over. Again, you can put these in as finishing exercises. You can put these in as part of the main workout. You can put these in as part of a circuit. And he's doing a great job. Now I'm going to get him down there in a push-up position, and he's going to use an uneven surface to do his push-ups. Again, this is an advanced exercise. You should be able to do 50 push-ups before you do a lot of variations with this. This is outstanding work for the shoulder girdle, for working the rotator cuff, a great workout for baseball pitchers, a great workout for football quarterbacks, anybody who has to throw an implement. Again, now he's working over to the other side. And you can see by creating that uneven surface, and he has challenged his body in a unique way. The name of the game is challenge. You want to continually challenge your body in different ways. We're going to keep him down there and put both hands on the ball. Now we're really forcing some extra stabilization. You can see that he's a great natural athlete because he instantly adjusted his feet to help in stabilizing. Again, his core musculatures come into play here by maintaining a straight line from his shoulder to his ankle, and his shoulder girdles were challenged again with that uneven surface. We'll move now to an advanced core exercise as I drag the mat back out here. The American twist. Get in a seated position, Lee, with your feet flat on the mat. Is to take the ball and have it touch on the right side, turn and touch it on the right on the ground, reach and touch it on the ground, and touch it on the left. This is an American twist exercise. You can also toss this in for variation on your warm-up. Touching each side, working the core. I don't know why we give them credit, but we do. But the next exercise variation off of this twist is a Russian twist. And what we're going to do from the American twist position is lean back slightly, increasing the amount of contraction that takes place on the abdominal muscles and the core as he turns side to side. Great job. Great job. Okay, we'll move on down to some leg lift variations that we've talked about earlier. We showed you the figure eight and the leg lifts. One of my favorite exercises I learned from my friends at CrossFit is called wall ball. And we don't have a wall to exercise on right in here, but I'm going to have Lee stand up again. He's getting a lot of up and down work today and showing great agility and quickness. The wall ball exercise is something that you do for time or repetitions. It's a total body explosive movement, excellent for anybody looking to develop explosiveness, that vertical component, that vertical jump that everybody desires to improve in the athletic community. But he's going to start with the ball on his chest. He's going to squat down in a front squat manner. And as he comes up, he's going to explode in a total body fashion and thrust the ball up. Now, we don't have a 10-foot goal to use as a backboard or a surface that's 10 feet in the air that he can rebound that ball off of. But in a certain training, in the correct training environment, he'd be able to rattle off repetition, multiple repetitions as he rebounds straight down, the ball coming right back to him. This wall ball exercise is outstanding. As part of a circuit, your tongue will be dragging at the end of this. Start with about 20 reps and let me know how that feels. A full body extension. He's going to squat down and get his tail as close to the floor as possible. And you can see I'm making my guy work a little bit, and I need him later today, so we're going to give him a break. Finally, I want to talk about one of my favorite winter sports, and that's Hoover ball. I mentioned briefly that in 1933, President Hoover was having problems with his health and getting enough exercise, as anybody in that job would have. So Dr. Boone created a volleyball game using a 6-pound medicine ball. We can't play Hoover ball in here, but for very little money, and you can set up a volleyball environment, bring in your medicine ball. Most of those balls were 6 pounds. I like to play with a 20-pound ball with my friends, and I'm not kidding you, in 20 minutes, you are spent. I hope you've enjoyed some of the exercises that we've shown you today, utilizing a medicine ball. It's a great tool. It's a very inexpensive tool. It will make you extremely powerful and extremely fit. Now get busy, live strong, use your power.
Okay, go over and take a stand. Thanks for the workout.
Yeah.
Title Boxing's got you covered with 16 action-packed videos to get you in the best condition of your life. Boxing and conditioning experts Danny Campbell, Michael Rutherford, Jeff Finnick, and Russ Anber put you through the paces to show you everything you need to know to improve your speed, strength, agility, and stamina. How to wrap hands, hitting the heavy bag, medicine ball, obtaining the edge of speed, interval training, punching at angles, advanced techniques, explosive speed and power, mastering the basics, punch-knit secrets, getting bigger and stronger, dynamic speed and thrust, counter punching, working the corner, defensive skills and drills, body punching, and more. Get only the ones you want, or get maximum impact with the entire series. Get the secrets of over 80 years of combined boxing and physical training experience in one action-packed video series. Where do you get it? Exclusively at TitleBoxing.com. TitleBoxing.com. If we don't have it, you don't need it.